Welcome to World Tourism Day Tree Talk. United Nations World Trade Organization started celebrating the World Tourism Day from the year 1980 to commemorate the final draft of the statutory acts, rules and regulations of the WTO, that is World Tourism Organization. When we talk about tourism, we need to know it has the basic component of traveling. If we go to the fragile habitats, the mountain meadows, deep inside the forest where we have the waterfalls, or we venture into the wetlands for boating and other things, we need to be conscious about environmental issues. We need to maintain the serenity and the purity of that location, that habitat. It should not be spoiled with the unnecessary littering of non-biodegradable garbage or the mineral water bottles, or the consumption of such food materials which have the packages and wrappers, and when you leave the destination you leave behind all that garbage which degrades the habitat and its aesthetic quality is also compromised. So on World Tourism Day we need to know what we should do and what we should not do, how to maintain the serenity of tourist destinations while enjoying the traveling. It should not be simple traveling to the locations and destinations, but it should involve knowing the history and culture of that destination. It should have the generation of the livelihoods for the local communities so that they get some economic benefits, and what are the social milieu background of the local ethnic groups of that location. Maybe some local communities, they are worshipping some trees or sacred groves, or they have the some local village deity, or maybe sacred water body. So all this should be known to the tourists while they visit such locations. Along with enjoyment, you need to know about the flora and fauna of that location, because the quality of environment is determined the mix of the plant world and animal world. So you should focus the eye on maybe the butterfly viewing, maybe the dragonfly hoarding, maybe the bird watching, it may be the wildlife photography or bird photography, it can be the collection of data on the local flowers, herbs, medicinal plants, how the local ethnic communities they are using the resource, and at local level it is always sustainable, because in nature all these resources get renewed. So within the carrying capacity, the bona fide harvest of any mushrooms or medicinal plants, that doesn't harm the environment, so that must be permitted. But the moment we bring the commercialization of such herbs and plants, then question of habitat degradation arises and things may not sustain for the future consumption patterns. So we need to have the sustainable kind of tourism or tourist activities in such locations. So in the last 2 days I was in the hills of Riyasi Forest Division. So during my tour as a eco-tourist, I tried to explore the beauty of the Riyasi district. The moment we crossed Katra, we came across sacred shrine of Baba Dhansar, where we found very unique tree, Aitia nutans, or a Himalayan sweet spire, which looks like Hard Terminalia Cebula, but it is not. It is a rare tree, and it has found a refuge and protection under the local custom of having that kind of sacred grove around the Shiva shrine at Baba Dhansar. Little ahead, where after we reach very near to Riasi, we had the Simbal Chua location. At this location, we could see a very unique tree, which although superficially it looks like Terminally Arjun tree, but it is not. It is the Dhaura tree or Axelwood tree or the Buckley. Locally, although it is named as Arjuni, it is not Arjun, but it has a close resemblance with Arjun when we see the foliage. But on closer examination of fruits, we come to know there is a group of pseudo-achenes in case of Buckley or Anogeisys latifolia, as it is known to the foresters. Whereas in case of true Arjun, that is terminally Arjuna, the winged fruit is seen. So that is not a group of fruitlets as we see in case of Anogeisys latifolia, popularly called as Axelwood tree or Dhaura. Its gum is also useful and medicinal. Apart from its gum, even the leaves have tannins, gallotannins, and they are also used in tanning. So this is a reputed medicinal plant with good timber value, and this is found only in that hill adjoining the Simbal Chua area. Otherwise, nowhere in Jammu and Kashmir we see Anogeisys latifolia tree. Nearby, we had the Sule Park, and here we could see some of the ornamental plants. For example, we have Sphagnaticula. This is Sphagnaticula trilobata or Vedelia trilobata. It's a very good daisy, but this is introduced flowering plant, and there need to be take care of the such plants which are exotics, which are alien, and they may escape the cultivation. So we need to confine such ornamental plants only within the parks and gardens, and they should not be allowed to go out, escape cultivation, as we have seen in case of Lantana camara. Although it was introduced as an ornamental plant, but now it has taken over the prime forest lands or forest peripheral areas. They are colonized by Lantana camara. Although it attracts butterflies also, and many birds also eat its berries, but this is exotic, and this decimates our native plants. Likewise, we have the Parthenium heteroporus, which is again a Mexican wheat, but it has spoiled our grassland quality because it is colonizing very fast. It is an invasive alien species. So such plants seen in the natural habitats, they need to be controlled either by the manual uprooting or by application of some kind of herbicides. While passing through Bhimgarh Fort Killa, we could see the Indian ash tree. Although the ash tree is fractional hokri, that is the true ash tree. But the Indian ash tree, which we see from Katra up to Tamil Nadu, that is Lania coromandelica. It is also found in Tamil Nadu. And this plant or tree, again useful for its gum extraction, which was earlier used for calico printing, and its leaves are pinnate, and its fruits attract many birds, especially the parakeets. So this is the plant from the mango family, and Lania coromandelica, called Jhingni in Sanskrit. This is the plant which is also very common and dominant species in our Shivaliks, and everywhere almost we find this Lania coromandelica tree. It supports wildlife as well as it has the medicinal properties. If we take go towards the locations like say Bidda or Salal Dam site and other locations, on the way we see one climbing acacia, which is called as Senegalia torta. Earlier it was called as Acacia torta. So this Senegalia torta are also known to locals as the Railnu or Ral. So we have two different kinds of Ral as per the local language is concerned. We have one red colored mimosa like flowering spiny shrub seen in the wilderness, and that is Mimosa rubicolis. So Mimosa pudica is the very common cultivated touch-me-not plant. Shui mui, lajbanti. But this Mimosa Himalayana, are also known as the Mimosa rubicolis, red-stemmed, chocolate red-stemmed shrub having the very fascinating, decorative, pink-red globose floral heads, especially during the monsoon season. So we could see this shrub also. This is also called a ral, but this is red colored, so it is called lal or sui ral. Whereas Senegalia torta is chitti ral or safed ral. So it has the fluted angled branches and flowers are almost pale white. While going through the wilderness, in some locations, the stony crevices along the roadside, we could see the hanging bunches of another antidietic herb, Cachixia ramosissima, also known as Madhunashini in Sanskrit literature. While proceeding towards Bakkal, we could see very fascinating plants, especially the grass which is Aristida cyanantha, locally known as canca grass, and its culms were earlier used by the villagers to stitch the leafy cups and plates. So this grass is also there in the dry hilly slopes. We have the Melotus philippensis. It has a very wider distribution everywhere, but it was dominating the forests of Reasi also. So it is also known as the monkey face tree, as it has red colored fruits, and fruit powder was recommended as the Ayurvedic anthelmintic for the expulsion of intestinal worms by the earlier Veda and Hakims under the name Kampilak. From Kampilak it has got its Hindi name Kamla or Camilla. It is also known as the Rotellaria tree, as it also yields the dye, red colored dye, so which has the religious sanctity also and medicinal quality also. Apart from medicinal and the dyeing quality, Melotus philippensis fruits are also eaten by the wildlife, especially the oriental turtle dove, locally called as kalmua, very fond of eating the Melotus fruits. We could see another mango family tree in the wilderness at Bakkal, that was Rus chinensis, Rus semi-alata, locally known as titri. Its fruits are used as tamarind substitute in the hills. While proceeding towards Sujandhar, at a location called Blada, we could encounter beautiful, graceful, wild desmodium, blue desmodium, having the dark blue colored, purplish blue flowers. Although the flower, individual flower is less than 1 centimeter in size, but the hanging racemes added color and charm to the bush along the roadside, and this was identified as Cachixia consina, earlier named as Desmodium consina. Leaves are trifoliate, and it is the one of the shrub which need to be introduced in the parks and gardens of Reasi. Maybe even in Sule Park we can include this shrub. This is the beautiful shrub. Along with Mimosa rubicolis, Suiral, we can add these shrubs from our native flora. Not only exotics should be introduced, but even native wild ornamental plants can be selected for introduction in the parks and gardens. After reaching that Sujandhar, there we could visit Nag Devta temple, and in that Nag Devta temple we could see the sacred grove kind of thing, a very huge old tree of Quercus oblongata, earlier called Quercus leucotrichophora bunch, along with the Adeu trees. Adeu is a dogwood tree Cornus macrophylla or Svida macrophylla. You could see it's a very useful fodder tree in the Himalayas, and local people call it as Adev. There were also Ficus palmata, which is called a Punjab fig tree. Along with these trees, we could see the Tuna serrata or Tuna chinensis, locally called a Doria. These trees were also standing in that sacred grove around the Nag Devta, but most prominent and most unique and most sacred tree we could spot in the sacred grove around Nag Devta was the Himalayan wild cherry or wild Himalayan cherry, locally known as Pajja. In Sanskrit, the tree is known as Padmaka. And in Rajouri area, we have the local name as Vanaravadi. But in the hills adjoining Basantagad, it is also called as Bataran. And even in Sujandhar, some people called it as Bataran. After the Aran means Aru, peach tree. It has the ringed bark, so it is named as Bataran. Its unusual feature is the flowering time. It flowers during November after Diwali. So this is the tree which catches eyesight when we visit the tourist destinations in the hills, maybe the Mussoorie, maybe Basantagad, or maybe Daral area in Rajouri, or even Sujandhar, that Nag Devta location. After Nag Devta's that sacred grove exploration, we just had a visit to another location in Riasi forest, that was Tot area. Right from Riasi, suburban area, and then peripheral village called Gran, there was a hilly ascent, and we came to Harot Kot, that summit, where we could see another sacred trees, especially one sacred tree locally called as Pataki inside the Mata temple, Kali Mata Mandir. So this Gymnosporia raeliana or Matinus raelianus, locally called as Lei or Pataki, this stands protected inside the sanctum sanctorum space inside the temple. Very near to this temple site, we could see the old tree of Desmodium, Ujjain Desmodium, called as Desmodium ujjainense. Earlier the tree was called as the Eugenia ujjainense. Sanan. We have some locations in Jammu, especially in the Kathua hills, where the location is named after Sanan, as Sanan Ghat. Sanan is known as Tinisha in Sanskrit, and its flowers attract honey bees, so very useful for apiary also. And this particular tree is known for its religious sanctity, as the palace of the king at the location Ujjain was once built only by using the wood of this particular tree, Ujjain Desmodium. So we find the name Ujjain in its nomenclature. So this is the tree which is very useful as fodder tree, and local people exploit its fodder also. Another unique plant which we could see while we going on way to Tot was the Silpoma, locally called as Samma, botanically identified as Anglohortia spicata. This is the member from the walnut family, Jugalandaceae. It has the pinnate leaves, and this particular plant is also unique to the landscape of the Riasi hills. We could see the wild grape relatives in the wilderness. One was Cissus adnata, and another was Tetrastigma cerulatum. We could spot a very unique legume on the rugged terrain beside the roadside, and that was identified as Flamingia strobelifera, locally called as ban shole or jungli chana, as it has the same family affinity, and its fruits are mostly covered by the leafy bracts, and they are very prominent in this particular plant, and it has been named as Vanshola. this particular plant also finds reverence and religious sanctity in Bihu festival.